Hey guys, what's up? How you doing? I'm just working on something down here. Anyway, I got goggles, so obviously we're talking about Vegapunk today, because as everyone knows, if you're gonna be a mad scientist that's gonna invent an entire army of Terminator robos that shoot lasers, I don't care what you look like, you gotta have goggles. If Oda does not draw Vegapunk with goggles, it's over. I'm dropping One Piece, no more videos, it's over at that point. Okay. So, spoiler for the last chapter, if you haven't read it, we have a meeting between Fujitora and Green Bull. Not really so much a meeting. It's not really an official thing. They're just kind of chilling out, having a picnic at like a public park at Marijois. You know, they're just sitting in lawn chairs. Fujitora garping down. I think gulping down was the preferred word there. He's just gulping down some ramen, and you have Green Bull there, and we still don't get to see Green Bull. He's still only in silhouette, but we get to hear his laughter style. It's rah ha 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 ha, and we also get to know that he's been fasting for the last 3 years, and he's most likely a guy because he's talking about how he would eat as long as it was a hot babe that came to him, which, by the way, he's a high Navy admiral. I'm pretty sure there'd be a few ladies lining up to meet the single bachelor Navy admiral. You know what I mean? But anyway, whatever. Anyway, we get to see those two. And the thing that they're discussing is Vegapunk. See, what Fujitora did after he left Dressrosa is he wanted to abolish the warlord system more than ever. He was never a big fan of it, and keep in mind Fujitora is a relatively new person to the Marines. He got administered in the world draft, so it's not like Fujitora was a Marine back like 2 years ago, okay? He just recently became one through the draft, which is also kind of cool because that implies that there's a lot of really strong characters out there that are neither pirates nor are they Marines. They're just regular citizens out there somewhere that might have really strong powers. I imagine Fujitora maybe was living as like a blind hermit or something. But anyway, he was never a big fan of the warlord system. But after the events at Dressrosa and Doflamingo and Law and everything like that, he's like, we need to abolish this system. And that's why he's going to Reverie, and that's why he is going to even risking going against Akainu. Because Akainu was like, you know, don't be coming back here until you either get Straw Hat or Law's head. And even though he's not technically at a Navy base, you know Fujitora knows that Akainu's not going to be happy about that. He's going to be mighty sore whenever they see each other. But even risking that, he was like, no, because I have to be at Reverie, because I have to kind of vouch for why we no longer need the warlord system anymore. We no longer need the Shichibukai. So while visiting Vegapunk's lab, he doesn't actually meet Vegapunk, but he gets to see the new invention that he's working on. And Fujitora states, in his own words, which I admit are probably a little biased because he really doesn't want the warlords around anymore, but in his own words, he states, the Shichibukai, the warlords, are no longer needed. We no longer need their power. These legal privateers that are around, you know, that are causing problems, like with Doflamingo and like Law, and remember that whole crap with Crocodile. We don't need them around anymore because Vegapunk's new invention, that's going to either be equal to their power or be even greater. So in today's video, I'm going to be looking at 5 possibilities, in my own, opinion, 5 ways that I think that what I think this invention could be. Alright, now, keep in mind, look at the power of the warlords. Let's just set a standard right now. Now, to be fair, the current warlords are not in their strongest generation, first off, we only have 5 of them. 7 warlords, because Law and Doflamingo were taken out, they were excommunicated. So now we only have Mihawk, Hancock, Kuma, Buggy, who is obviously the strongest, and Weevil. Alright, and even Weevil is still a warlord, but it's kind of tentative because, I don't know if he's really gone yet. I'm assuming he's still a warlord. It's just that you get this one panel of the newspaper where it says, like, there's a picture of Weevil issuing a warning. So that doesn't mean, like, he's taken off the list or anything. It just means that he's going around attacking towns and, he might be kind of unpredictable. So, yeah, he's still part of the warlords. But let's look at their battle power, okay? You got Dracule Mihawk, strongest swordsman in the world. Strongest swordsman in the world, okay? So that means that if I'm looking at the logic here, whatever invention that Vegapunk has in his sleeve, up his sleeve, it's got to at least be, comparable to that. Because right now, if we're just looking straight at the 5 warlords that remain, I would say Mihawk is the strongest. Because who else do we got? We got Hancock, okay. Hancock, I mean, she has a devil fruit, she has hockey, she has Conqueror's hockey. We just haven't really seen her in combat all that much. One-on-one combat, you're pretty much dead, you know, because she could just turn you to stone with her, like, perfume femur, and she could do the slave arrow thing. So if you're just like a one-on-one fight with Hancock, and if you're not if you're not somebody with comparable strength, if you're just like riffraff, you're gonna go down. And you know she's got Conqueror's hockey, if just knock you out if she wanted to. Gaze at my breasts and pass out. But yeah, she's not one of the strongest. Kuma's actually interesting because he in himself is also an invention of Vegapunk. So even if the warlord system is abolished, Kuma still is probably going to be part of the government. You know what I mean? He's still probably, well, he has ties to the Revolutionary Army, but it's not like they're going to be like, all right, well, we've decided to abolish the warlord system. All right, so Mihawk, Hancock, Weevil, Buggy, you are all pirates now. We're all going to be coming after you. You know, I don't think they're going to be doing that with Kuma, because he's now PX0. He's basically a mindless robo, so I don't think they can really put him back up, because he's already under the control of the government. So he's still going to be around. But yeah, Kuma's pretty strong. I just think that Mihawk is stronger. Buggy, I mean, okay, let's have a little bit of fairness here, okay? Buggy could totally kick Mihawk's ass, but you know, let's have a little bit of fairness, okay? No, obviously Mihawk is stronger than Buggy. And don't even bring up the scene where he's like, he diced him into freaking little strips of sashimi and they just like compile back together. Yeah, that's nice, but if Mihawk really wanted to, he doesn't even have to use a sword to kill Buggy if he really wanted to. I mean, Mihawk could just be like, oh, the sharp edge of this doesn't work. Mihawk could just flip his sword around and just smack Buggy really hard on the head, and that would probably kill him. So Mihawk is still stronger than Buggy, alright? And then finally we have Weevil. Weevil, we don't know much about him. We know he's freak show strong. He's got the giant Bicento thing that Whitebeard had. Not the same one, but a similar one. Very strong. He was able to take out 16 captains of pirate crews that were allied with Whitebeard, and he also led to 600 casualties. But yeah, he's freak show strong, but he's also kind of an idiot. And, you know, he's very simple, and he's, like, listening to his mama for everything, so I think Mihawk could still contend with Weevil, okay? But that's the current battle strength that we have with the Warlords. So all of that together, the most dangerous ones we have, I would say, are Mihawk, and going from strongest to weakest, we have Mihawk, then Weevil, then Kuma, then Hancock, then Buggy, ranked by strength. Okay. So with that being said, here are some possibilities that Vegapunk could have invented. Now, I'm going to bring up the first one I mentioned in the video, because that was something I kind of just threw out there. It's sort of a joke at first, but then you start to think about it. It's a nuclear bomb. Not really maybe a nuke, but a really, really powerful explosive weapon. Something that could destroy an island. Let's go with that. Also, you look at other things in the One Piece franchise that were similar to, like, a nuclear bomb. Like the Dynastones in the movie film Z. Those Dynastones that were able to level islands. The ancient weapons, like, for instance, Pluton. Pluton was stated to be a massive battleship that could wipe out an island with just a single shot. So you might feel like it's kind of cheap if they were able to invent a weapon that could be comparable to an ancient weapon. Maybe there might be some faults with it. Hell, for all of we know, Pluton could be a giant battleship, like a huge thing. It could be like the size of Zoe, like the size of Zunisha, and it's not just like one shot decimates an island and then you have to reload. No, it could be like, BAM! Island's gone! BAM! Island's gone! BAM! Island's gone! Pluton might be able just to shoot off consecutive blasts. Maybe Vegapunk invented something like a nuclear bomb that's able to detonate and destroy one entire island or make it inhospitable, considering that they were kind of dealing with that. Remember Punk Hazard? Remember that whole accident that Caesar caused on Punk Hazard that released that giant gas weapon? Gas weapons are more Caesar's forte, but Vegapunk would obviously have skill in that as well. And if you actually really think about it, outside of the ancient weapons that have only been hinted at, and outside the Dynastones, which are, those are not canon, there's not a lot of other, like, let's just talk about it in the sense of just devil fruit users. How many devil fruit users, or how many single characters in the One Piece world could level an entire island? Like, I'm talking like Island Buster. I'm talking like one single attack, just BAM! And an entire island is just gone. Now, obviously, like if you had Sabo could go around an island and just torch everything with his fire powers. But I'm not talking about, like, you know, launching your attack. I'm just talking about one attack, just BAM! And that island is gone. There's not a lot of people in the One Piece world that are capable of that. Okay, yeah, you have Whitebeard. Obviously, he has the Quake fruit. That was a power that was stated to be able to destroy the world if just went out of control. Blackbeard has it now. But, yeah, if Whitebeard got really pissed off, he could just, and he was in his prime, he could just, like, punch an island, and that island would just crack and then fall into the ocean. Even Luffy is not capable of doing that yet. Yes, when Luffy was in Gear 4th, King Kong Gun, that was kind of his strongest technique he had. He was able to crack Dressrosa, the city, in half. But not the entire island. So I want to make that a distinction, because I feel like a lot of people are going to say, didn't Luffy crack an island in half? No, he didn't. And the only reason he really did with that city, because keep in mind, there was an entire port under the city. So there was this giant hole, this huge cavity right underneath the city, and Luffy's attack struck it right in the middle, and because there was that empty cavity, the top level, the street level, just kind of collapsed that way inward, and then that's what happened. Luffy's King Kong Gun's pretty strong, but it didn't level all of Dressrosa, alright? The island was still there, safe and sound. I mean, the top of it was all destroyed because of the birdcage, but in terms of, like, the actual island, it's still standing. It's still fine. So, yeah. Not a lot of people in the One Piece world that are capable of that level of destruction. So, if Vegapunk invented a bomb that was pretty compact and had the traits of a nuclear bomb that was able to massive explosion, and then maybe like a radiation effect afterwards that poisoned and killed everything in the surrounding area, I think that could be a perfect substitute for the warlords. Number 4, a type of upgrade, some form of upgrade to the Pacifista technology, because we know Vegapunk is working at the Pacifistas. That's the thing he's been working on for a while now. He converted Kuma into the PX-0. We have an entire army of the Pacifistas that we saw at Marineford. There's probably been improvements over the 2-year time skip, so there might be a bigger upgrade to that. Maybe an upgrade so they're capable of fighting against Devil Fruit users, or they're capable of fighting against Hockey users more effectually. Because we saw, like, the old school Pacifistas, like the ones that fought against the Straw Hats 2 years ago, after the time skip, Luffy was able to knock those down with one hit from Hockey in Gear 2nd. So maybe they were modified to the sense where they can deal with Hockey now. They can deal with Devil Fruit, you know, users better. They have like they can scan, like scanning, okay, he has a Logia Devil Fruit, it's capable of manipulating lightning, adjusting parameters, you know? It might be something like that. There might be different types of Pacifistas, like this Pacifista is designed to fight purely in the water. This Pacifista is designed to fly. This Pacifista can deal with uses electrical attacks, and electrical attacks are not really that damaging to it. Here's another one that uses fire. You know, like there might be different brands, different types of Pacifistas. So some type of upgrade to them. I also saw somebody saying in the comment, I thought it was pretty funny, was that new Pacifista upgrade, they're combiner robots. They're like the Megazord. You know, Pacifista power go! You know, the Pacifistas are striking a pose and they turn into like Voltron or some shit. Probably not going to be something like that because we already kind of have that with the Frankie Shogun, but that would be cool if they could, you know, some type of upgrade to the Pacifistas would be welcome. Maybe also something to make them less similar to Kuma, make them maybe more distinguished. That would be cool. Maybe still have the same basic design as Kuma, but they have different colored vests or something, you know, something like that. Okay, the third thing, I also mentioned this in the video, so I'm not going to stay on this point too long, but a flying machine. Okay, a flying machine combined with, not even like the nuke, but just like a normal bomb would be useful. I think in the video I said like a stealth bomber, but you don't even have to go that far. Just like a plane, like a normal plane, like that you would see in like World War I. You know, that would be something that it just doesn't exist in the One Piece world. All right, like the closest thing we got are like the flying fish riders, and the flying fish have to go underwater and then get some. They can't go very far and very high up. But if you had like just a simple plane like that with a freaking automatic machine gun on it, and you could drop bombs from this thing, and just imagine that. So imagine, okay, there's a pirate ship sailing somewhere in the Grand Line. Like, I don't know, we're the lemon drop pirates. We're sour, but we're strong, you know? And they're like, they hear something in the distance. They're like, it's like, sir, what is that? I'm like, they're checking the horizon. The lookouts are looking around at the ocean. They're trying to find, like, where's that sound coming? Is it the Marines? We have no idea. And then before they even knew what happened, out of the cloud cover just comes, like, not even an advanced plane. Just like I said, something from, like, World War I. Like the Red Baron flying around or something. Just and shreds the freaking sail, the mast. They don't, I mean, by the time their freaking cannons, like, oh shit, we have to readjust our cannons. We have to get them. There's no way they're going to hit that thing with cannon fire. You know, so even a guy, like, without even dropping a bomb, just gone. Just gone right there. Now, you know, there's limits to that if they're going up against a Yonko fleet or something, but in terms of just like a standalone pirate ship, one aircraft should be able to just decimate that thing. You know, they wouldn't even know what's coming, you know? Because they've never seen that kind of technology before. Over time, the word would spread, like, the Marines have this crazy devil bird that attacked us. But in honesty, like, that would be extremely advantageous. Flying machines of any variety in the One Piece world. All right, so we're getting into the top 2 now. So I got to get my goggles on. All right, so number 2. We know that Vegapunk experimented with artificial devil fruit technology. Now, Caesar has done that as well with the smiles, and he's selling them off to Kaido. But keep in mind, all of the artificial devil fruits that Caesar manufactured seem to be all zone types. Now, I don't know if that's because they all have to be limited to zones or what. And also the one that Vegapunk invented, the one that was a failure, was also a zone. It's the one that Momonosuke ate and became a dragon. And it was on Punk Hazard. It was in that little containment unit that was like, oh yeah, that's that failure devil fruit that Vegapunk created. What if Vegapunk not only perfected the artificial devil fruit technology, but also made it so it wasn't just a zone. Maybe he made artificial Logia, or artificial mythical zones, or artificial paramecia that could be anything he wanted. Alright? Think about that, really, because if that's the situation, and that's what we're working with here, we could just mass produce, and obviously Vegapunk's artificial fruits would be better than Caesar's, because, you know, Vegapunk's just better than Caesar. It's kind of like the Mayuri Kurotsuchi and Kisuke Uehara dynamic from Bleach. It's like, yeah, one's pretty smart, but the other one's just better. So, if Vegapunk figured out a way to safely mass-produce all of these artificial devil fruits, and he could make the powers be whatever they wanted, and he handed them out to just Marine soldiers, imagine that, like, yeah, we got a fresh batch of fire-type Logias, alright, and just hands them out to all of, like, the Marine foot soldiers. You know? And if he was able to, like, selectively breed them, he's like, yeah, we also got rid of that weakness to water, so here you go. That would be, now keep in mind, what I'm saying is something really OP. It's like, wait, you're talking about devil fruits that don't have the water weakness, and also he's able to mass produce Logias. That would be an incredibly OP thing. It was like, well, because we're thinking about something that can completely get rid of the warlord system, I was gearing towards something that was OP. Alright, the nuclear weapons, and the flying machines, and the freaking artificial fruits. I mean, you gotta go big or go home on this, because Fujitora would not have made that claim if he was seriously convinced. Fujitori's not an idiot, alright? If Vegapunk said, he's like, okay, here's all my inventions, and be like, okay, well, none of this stuff is really all that impressive, but he saw something that truly triggered, like, okay, yeah, we're good, we're set. He didn't actually meet Vegapunk, but he's like, yeah, we're set with this technology. He probably even saw a demonstration. Maybe he went to his lab, and maybe, like, Sentomaru was there, and Sentomaru's like, yeah, the old man's busy today, but I'll show you what the new thing we're working on here. Put these goggles on, and it's just like, boom! And it's like, well, I didn't see what that was, but it was pretty impressive. Yeah, keep in mind, Fujitori's blind! So he couldn't even, if it was a nuke, he couldn't even see what it was! If it was a combining pacifista robot, he couldn't even see what it is. So, but he's convinced that this is strong enough to work. Okay, so that's the artificial fruit thing. Now, as for my last idea, this is the one I had to stretch for a little bit, my last idea, but I think you'll be happy with it. Okay, now, Allow me to preface before going into this, because this might sound like fan fiction. This might sound, well, I guess all of this can be considered a branch of fan fiction. But I think a lot of this could actually happen. I think Vegapunk has the technology to build a flying machine. I think he even has the technology to build a nuke, or at least a strong explosive device. But I want to make this clear. I'm not a huge fan of American comic books. And when I say what this is, you're going to immediately think of a very particular American, superhero. You're gonna think of one immediately when I say this, and I'll even reference him, but I'm not like a huge fanboy to the point where it's like, I want this character to be in One Piece right now! No, okay. Vegapunk invents an Iron Man suit. Okay, wait! No, not like an actual Iron Man suit like we saw, not like the nanotechnology in freaking Infinity War, like all the different, the beam laser things pop out. Like, I don't even know what they're really called, We're not talking about that. I'm talking about Vegapunk mass-producing a type of mechanized armor, and we've already seen he's capable of making cyborgs and robots, so he would definitely be able to at least make a mechanized kind of armor that is easy to use, that reinforces all of the Marines' standard gear and all that stuff. It has guns attached to it, like, we've already seen this with Frankie. Okay? If Frankie's capable of inventing this stuff, Vegapunk is too. It has guns attached to it. It has Karyoseki built into it, like Z's arm, so they can fight against Devil Fruit users, basically enabling all of the foot soldiers of the Marines to become a viable threat all of a sudden. All of those riffraff, all of the Marines that you thought, oh, they're just regular Marines wearing the scarf and carrying a single-shot musket. Oh yeah, I'm sure the Straw Hats are so threatened by them. No, all of a sudden, they have these freaking mechanical suits on that are able to fire freaking, gun, maybe even like, sea stone bullets. And they have Karyoseki built into their arms. And they have, like, bladed weapons that can pop out. And they can attack, even if, like, they're still not a threat for the Straw Hats, they're still a threat, much more of a threat than they used to be. If you really want to go insane with it, I also wrote down maybe a way where they can emulate hockey, or at least, we already have artificial devil fruits, there might be a way to simulate hockey for the lower level soldiers. Or, if not simulate hockey altogether, while in this mech suit, they would be stronger than they would normally be. So, yeah, if they go up against somebody that has armament hockey, if you're just a normal Marine soldier, I'm gonna take you down now, and then Zoro, and then all Zoro has to do is just hockey up his arm and just be like, crack, and like, their entire arm would just fall off. But in the mech suit, even with hockey, it'd be like, at least they can contend with each other, at least a little bit. You could have gas weapons. You could have, like, a gas mask built into the thing, and you could shoot off, like, sleeping gas or paralyzing gas, something like that. Flashbangs, all these things that you could keep in a suit. It wouldn't be capable of flight. You wouldn't be able to be like Iron Man, flying around and everything like that. You wouldn't be able to do all the crazy stuff that Tony's able to do in his suit. But, it has guns, it has bladed weapons, enhanced strength, gas weapons, maybe some way to counter devil fruits, maybe some way to counter hockey. That's all I'm talking about, and like I said, with all the craze, look at the pacifistas. The pacifistas are an army of robots. Okay, all of the freaking technology that went into making these things. Robots that are smart enough to think, to like scan the area, and like all this technology that doesn't even come close to existing in the One Piece world, Vegapunk's able to create a basic mech suit with some guns and some gas weapons and some bladed attacks attached to it, maybe some Karyoseki built in. And we've already seen him use Karyoseki on the undersides of the Marine battleship, so they could at least coat them in Karyoseki, so like one punch from these things could like weaken, and Fujitora could see that, or, he could sense that, I guess, or be told about it, and hear about it, and be like, oh yeah, army of mechanized Marine soldiers, they might be, it's more of like a quantity over quality kind of thing, but in the sense here, it's kind of still quality, because they're all, like, all of the foot soldiers are just getting an immediate buff. If you can mass produce these things, you'd be fine. So, something like that. And also, you figure, the one issue with the warlords that Fujitora doesn't like is because they have so much power and they're still technically pirates. They can kind of do whatever some of them just kind of choose to do whatever they want, and they're kind of difficult to work with. So in this situation, it would be like, you know, a Marine soldier that actually went through the training and everything like that, and it was issued this mech suit, but they already pledged their duty to the cause. So they would be easier they would obey orders, basically. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about here, like some kind of mech suit. I know, it's kind of out there, but I think it's a cool idea, and I think Vegapunk would definitely be able to create something like that. So let me know what you guys think below. Let me know what you think of these ideas. If you got other ideas, you want to expand on these ideas, go right ahead, have fun with it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I got to get back now to working on this, and it's not done yet. I'll show you soon, but okay, all right. Have a good night, everybody. Goggles.